And recognize all of our teachers and family members here and the students. Such a special time. And so now we'll continue with our superintendent's report. At this time, we'll have our teacher spotlight segment. And today our teacher spotlight segment is on Overland Park Elementary School. And I'd like to ask Principal Helen Wright, please come forward.
Thank you guys so much for having us. It's a pleasure to be here and share a little good news about our sweet little schoolhouse on the east side of the district. But before I introduce my colleagues, I would just like to say how great it is to see Overland Park Elementary on the big screen. I very much appreciate that. So again, thank you for having us. I brought with me two of our finest, Ms. Casey Sanders and Ms. Heidi Sloan, to share with you about a new initiative that we've started at Overland Park. Ms. Sanders is our music teacher. She is choir director for our school. She serves on our leadership team, and she serves as an administrative intern for us. And also I've brought Ms. Heidi Sloan, who is our school testing coordinator and interventionist. She also serves as a member of our leadership team, and she serves as an administrative intern for our school as well. So thank you again, and I hope you enjoy our presentation. Thank you, Ms. Wright, for the introduction, and thank you, board members, for allowing us to have this opportunity to talk a little bit about what's happening at Overland Park Elementary School. Ms. Sanders and I are so excited to tell you about a new program that we just started this school year we helped create, and this is our mentor program. And the purpose behind this mentor program is to build relationships with our students to promote academic success, and every staff member has the opportunity to enroll.
So we want to tell you a little bit about what our mentor program is. So it's a structured initiative for our school where we're pairing experienced individuals, our mentors, with we're providing them the encouragement and the support to go out and mentor our mentees, our students. So let's talk a little bit about the steps of our program. So whenever we were first creating this, we were trying to decide who would benefit the most. And for us, that was our bottom 25% of students. But for the rest of the presentation, we're going to refer to them as our promising 25% because they are promising. So we identified those students. From there, we allowed our staff to select students that they felt either based on prior relationships or just maybe knowing them from the building if they wanted to be a mentor. So each student has been paired with a staff member, and some of our staff members selected multiple students. We have those mentors go out and interact with those students and create organic interactions with them. How are you? How are things at home? How did you do on your spelling test today? Just run-of-the-mill things that to those students mean all the world. And then from there, we are assessing as we go along by having our staff members fill out a survey. So our mentors are required to meet with their student at least one time per week. More is preferred, but obviously we all have to do the business of the building, but they have to meet once a week. The mentors use a check-in link that we've given them, and I'm going to show you guys that. And we collect data from that check-in link. So here it is, and it's really simple, but it provides us enough information for us to make sure that each student is being serviced as they should. So here it says hi Austin because it's his device, but it would have each teacher's name. They enter the student name that they are seeing, and then they're able to provide us with feedback, whether it be constructive feedback or if it's something positive that they want to share with us.
We have already received a lot of positive feedback from the mentors in our school after we implemented this program, and we are very excited about it. So we've told you a little bit about the mentor program, but let's actually hear from our mentors. And again, every staff member has the opportunity to sign up to be a mentor. And so actually we're going to hear first from our school nurse, Ms. Angie. She says, I mentor a student in 4th grade. He has never liked school and keeps a very straight face. I see him every morning. From talking to him, I have learned about some of the things he likes. I have had the pleasure to get to know him so much better.
His entire demeanor has changed. I have encouraged him to make good grades, and we have studied spelling words for upcoming tests together. I've even given him pop quizzes. He came in one morning excited to tell me, I studied all night. He has been so uplifting and positive since we started this program. I'll even add in that we received word today that he made 2 A's today on his last 2 tests that he just took. Our next mentor, that allowed us to give us a little preference to whatever she sees in her mentor, is Miss Ashton Gentry. She is a 5th grade teacher. She's a very brand new teacher. It's her first year. And she said that this program is good for adults as well as kids. As a new 5th grade teacher in our building, I don't normally see the lower grade students or teachers. Since teachers from across the building mentor students from my class, I've gotten to know more teachers. It's increased staff communication and is helping to build relationships and friendships. I mentor a 4th grade student who I'm told rarely gives hugs or smiles. He gave me a hug for the first time today and talks to me now. I'm excited about the possibility of having him in my 5th grade class next year.
So while Ms. Sloan and I were putting together this presentation for you guys, I stumbled onto this quote and I thought it was perfect for this. Mentoring is a brain to pick, an ear to listen, and a push in the right direction. And we really hope that that's exactly what this is for our students, but also for our staff. Having those organic interactions with our students I know it's a highlight of my day, and I know that it is for so many of our teachers as well.
So we are actually looking for plans for the future. The first is for expansion. We want to include more students, not just those in our promising 25 next year.
We're going to offer more training for our mentors so that they're better able to facilitate their mentorship with their students.
We also want to reach out into our immediate area to include other school and community partners.
And then the last step of our plans for the future is that we want to add more and more in-depth opportunities for our mentors to provide feedback on this program, whether it be positive comments or constructive ones. And lastly, we just want to say to you all, thank you so much for your support, for what you do for our schools, for our teachers, for all of us. So thank you so much for having us today.
Great. After the board, that was a great presentation, and I think everyone up here would agree that if the student can build that relationship with one adult on campus, that could make the entire difference. It is ironic. We're about to lead into another thing on mentorship here in just a moment, but Ms. Wright and your mentorship program, I want to say we appreciate your hard work on campus, and Ms. Wright is a teacher at Overland Park, assistant principal at Overland Park, and now the principal at Overland Park. It's just always such a great place to visit. And I was going to tell a story about Ms. Bramlett from New Teacher Academy, but I'm afraid that I would steal the thunder of our next group that's about to present. Because ironically, like I was about to say, our teacher mentors are going to be presenting this month. So we got a lot of mentorship in our superintendent's board day. That was not planned. I had no idea what they were going to be talking about. So that's great. I'm going to ask Ms. Amanda Sample to come forward at this time to talk about our strategic plan and one of our goals as far as mentorship.
So good afternoon, and like you said, thank you for leading right into that. It's a perfect segue. So just a quick reminder of our mission, vision, and our 5 broad goals in our strategic plan. We're excited today to showcase goal number 4, which is to recruit, hire, train, and retain high-quality educators and staff members. And so we're very excited today to tell you about the New Teacher Academy Mentor Program. This is the 2nd year that we have our lead mentors leading this initiative, and it is my privilege and my honor to introduce to you Miss Lori Edge, who works with our elementary teachers, and Miss Emily Frazier works with our secondary teachers, and they've done an amazing job. Their passion and excitement just trickles out to everyone. So I'm going to turn it over to them, and they're going to tell you about what we've done this year.
So first off, I just want to thank you guys for letting us have the opportunity to share the positive impact this program is making in our district. Lori and I are very excited to be a part of a program that is impacting not just teachers, but also our students.
So this program actually has 4 major components that we developed, and it's our kickoff, which is in July. We have our leadership team. We have 5 professional development sessions that our teachers actually get to come to us and learn. And then we have what we feel is one of our most important components is our in-school visits.
We first welcomed our new teachers back in July, as she said, to the new Teacher Academy kickoff. This event, we hosted over 250 new teachers to our district. Now, some of them were brand new, straight out of college. Some of them were from other school districts, but new to DeSoto County. So we really wanted to make this great first impression to let them know, hey, you've picked the best place to come to learn. So we did this by the whole district helped decorate, make it cute, fun, have their little photo booths. They saw all their friends from college, even though they were at different schools. So it was kind of a reunion for them. Each teacher received a welcome gift. We were able to feed them breakfast and lunch. We gave out door prizes throughout the day. And we also had the community sponsors that came and set up little booths, and they were able to pick up freebies from them. So not only did they know we were a great school district, but they were also coming to a great community, and we thought that was important for them.
So 250 people, that's a huge amount. And so it really did take everybody. And so we have that hashtag Team DCS for a reason. When they came in, they were greeted by the district staff. The admin were there to help make them feel comfortable because it was a familiar face. Then we had Mr. Usselton speak to them, just tell them all about the great things that our district has to offer and things they could look forward to. He also shared an encouraging, positive message just to kind of get the year started off right. And one of the new things that we did this year, because we realized we have both new teachers and veteran teachers at this event, we can't just have kind of a cookie cutter kind of presentation. So we developed these breakout sessions, and the district team came in, and everybody from mental health to technology to our area specialists were able to share sessions that were relevant to whatever those teachers needed, whether they were SPED teachers or whether they were elementary or middle and high school.
We all know how important leadership is for our schools to be successful. So one thing we wanted to do was empower these new teachers with the opportunity to help be leaders, so they will be our future leaders. We chose several teachers across the district, different schools, different grade levels that really excelled in their first year. We brought them in, had them help give us feedback. What can we do to help you more? What's the most beneficial to you? They actually ended up collaborating together and created their own professional development session and presented it at our NTA kickoff. It was by far one of our most attended sessions. All those new teachers wanted their tips and tricks that they had used. As a matter of fact, they helped us set up for ASD, and we have one behind us that you just recognized as a new teacher of the year. So we were very, very proud of her and excited about all the things that she did. Many of them have joined committees in the district. They are working on things throughout with our curriculum and other things, and we hope that they'll continue to be our leaders in the future.
So it's just best for you to hear from the teachers themselves. So we're going to play a short video from Dr. Knight from Greenbrook Elementary so you can hear how this program has begun to impact his teaching.
I will tell you, when I went to the New Teacher Academy back in July, I was a very cynical individual sitting there like going, I believe everything you're saying, and I'm never going to see these people again. And in the first day of school, there they were, and they kept coming back, and then they kept helping, and they were following through. And I get to go to the New Teacher Academy trainings, and even if it's things that I've already been taught before, it was a great refresher for my practice because there was a lot about DeSoto specifically. I taught in other districts, but I hadn't taught in DeSoto, and it really helped me find my footing, get a sense of what I was doing, where I needed help, where I didn't need help. They were incredibly responsive. Anytime I had questions, just drop an email or make a phone call, and they're like, let us help you out. And I'm going to be real honest. NTA has been a major factor in my decision to stay at DeSoto next year. So I cannot recommend them highly enough.
Here's that retention piece right there.
So once our teachers kind of settled in, we transitioned from the kickoff, we developed the New Teacher Academy sessions for their professional development. These sessions were designed to be fun, relevant, research-based, reflective, and relational. Now, we developed these topics based on feedback that we received from the administrators and the new teachers, and also we looked at our professional growth standards to make sure we were in line with that as well.
So we know that classroom management is really the foundation to any teaching practice. So we began the year with classroom management, talking about procedures, organization, and parent communication. We set this session up a lot like a regular classroom because we wanted them to not just hear about things, we wanted them to actually experience those things. So we kind of treated them like the students, and they went back with practical ways that they can incorporate these ideas into their room. We also had hands-on things, so we could show them ways that they could organize their stations. All those school supplies you're getting, sometimes you don't know what to do with them. All those papers you're grading, how do you manage that? So we showed them some practical ways to take care of those things and how to spend that money more effectively. We also talked about parent communication. We need our teachers to be able to bring those parents into the classroom, be able to talk to them. That is something young teachers tend to have a fear of. So we gave them some tips and tricks and some practical ways and some ways to be prepared to speak to their parents and to bring their parents into the classroom a little bit more.
After the teachers got the rules and procedures in place, we wanted to bring them back in. They kind of dealt with the curriculum just a little bit, and we wanted to elevate those lessons for them. That was kind of our next step. Once we got them going, let's take them to that next level. And we did this with an engagement session. In this session, we gave just basic tips and tricks that they could take back right away to get their students more involved in learning and hold those students more accountable to their learning. And we saw some immediate results with this, but we were also intentional knowing that we had teachers from different grade levels and from different content. So we brought in all the district specialists and a few teachers from some of the other schools so they could get direct instruction and ideas that could pertain to them. And we've seen great results of those teachers trying to use those things. It's been wonderful.
So in December, data starts to roll in. You're really looking at those tests. You kind of got your rhythms going, and teachers really begin to focus on those kids that are struggling a little bit. So this time we felt like it was important to introduce Growing All Learners. And once again, we brought district support staff in to present some strategies and some techniques to our teachers. The EL department came in and they shared some of the resources that our district has available that they might have not have known about to help them. They also shared some strategies on what to do if a student does not speak any English at all. So that was super helpful, especially to our school districts that have a high number of ELL speaking students. The other thing that we did was we had our academic specialist come in, and she was able to share with them the TST process. You know all those acronyms you get? They don't know what half of those acronyms mean, so they were able to kind of walk them through that process and how do they help those students move through the process if they need that extra level support. They also talked about data. What do you do with that data? Why is that data important? How are we going to use it to drive instruction? Can you imagine learning about those things as a first-year teacher? It takes a long time to figure that out if you don't have that extra level support. And then the last thing we did was we had our behavioral specialists come in and talk to them about some strategies and techniques to deal with those students that just have those behaviors that are just a little different from the rest and they need a little extra support because those behaviors are interfering with their learning. And they were able to experience some fun ways to help engage those kids as well.
So before the kids came back in January, we had the teachers come back to us. And this is the first time, our previous sessions we told you about, we broke them into smaller groups and according to grade levels. This time we brought everybody back, K through 12, every subject. And we truly had a celebration. This is by far our favorite time. We celebrate all they've already accomplished. They don't realize where they've come from to the point of where they are now. It is really good for them to get to reflect and learn what reflection is and see that they are already making a difference. They are already impacting their students. They also needed a little encouragement. Hey, you got this. You can go on. So the way this session ran, we kind of guided them, but they basically shared their success stories. They also were able, hey, I'm having trouble with this. And they got ideas from other teachers that are in the same boat. So it was hearing the same things from someone besides just us or their administrator. And they really got to form a bond working with other people across the district. And we love building that relationship and letting them collaborate. And they got tons of tips and tricks by that.
So in February, that's going to be our last session. And we know that in February, it's just pre-test season, right? Pre-testing season. And so that's the time we're really trying to push our kids to grow the most. And so it's sometimes hard to see the end and the finish line. So we really feel like it was important to help our teachers at this time talk about healthy relationships, maintaining those relationships, also about their mental health and self-care. So our mental health department is going to be coming in and talking to them about that. And here's a couple of teachers that have just inspired us by how this program has impacted them.
My name is Ashley Harvey, and I was a sixth grade science teacher at Lewisburg Middle School. This first year has been incredible so far, and definitely a learning experience, which is why I'm thankful for the NTA program, for Miss Lori and Miss Emily, all the hard work that they've put into this. They've gone above and beyond to provide us with resources, classroom management tips, to create a space to build relationships, which is what it's all about. They brought in speakers that have added so much value to me as a new teacher, stepping into this role, educating this generation of students that I hope want to change the world one day. You know, as a coach, I go to those other schools and I see my friends from the NTA program, and we're able to talk and collaborate and to see what's going on with each other, to build one another up, which has been one of my favorite parts of this year so far. So definitely thankful for everything I've learned so far and to see where this year takes us. Thank you.
And one more, y'all, these stories are just so great. It's just so awesome to see the impact that they're having.
Hello, my name is Denny England. I teach third grade at Chickasaw Elementary School. One thing that NTA has helped me with throughout the school year is definitely new ideas for my classroom that I honestly would have never thought of before. I always leave feeling more confident and more secure at where I'm at, especially with my first year. It reminds me that I'm not alone. NTA has been a huge help with my first year teaching. I appreciate it so much.
We didn't pay them to do that. So our favorite part of this job is the in-school visit. We love going to their schools and being with them one-on-one and supporting them. Some of the things we do when we're in our in-school visits, we observe them in a way that they're not feeling like, oh, someone's watching me and critiquing me, but in a way that we can give them the positive feedback they need. We also help them find resources. Sometimes resources is a challenge, and we help them find those to help their engagement. We also help them take the things they're learning in these sessions. When do you ever go to a PD and then get to go back and have the person who did it teach you how to use it in your classroom? So we get to actually do that. And then we answer those questions that they maybe forgot they even had until you showed up. And then one of the fun things we get to do, because we both love teaching, is we get to model teach and show them how to use the strategies with the kids that are in their own classroom.
There's also a lot of other ways that we feel we're really making a difference. They're a little more behind the scenes. One story that I love to share is at the beginning of the year, last year, we had some teachers that were retiring. They're like, hey, I've got all this stuff. Do you have anything you could do with it? I'm like, absolutely. Our new teachers would love something, especially that's free. They're like, well, I'm not putting it on Facebook. You just come get it. Yes, ma'am. That took about 2 teachers. The next thing I know, principals are calling and saying, hey, my teacher's going through some of their stuff. They've got extra supplies, or they've got some materials they're not using anymore. Do you want them? About 3 or 4 van loads later, we're like, what are we going to do with all this stuff? So we decided to have a free teacher yard sale equipped with a sign, attached to the car and everything. So we got all those materials organized. We put them in one spot, and we advertised it to those new teachers like, hey, come get as much as you want of whatever you want. They might not even really know what they wanted, but they came, and at least they had some things for their rooms to start with. And it meant a lot. And we got to see them out of a school setting and start building that relationship. Also, we've been very excited that you guys actually agreed to let us participate in Delta State's MTR program. We have several teachers that have participated and are in it at this moment. And I got to see a few of them that began with last year graduate this year. That was very exciting. So, and they were so blessed to be able to go ahead and start their craft while they finish school. We've been informing teachers on how to become National Board Certified teachers, which is very important. We're a resource that they can come to get started with that. We work very closely with the Human Resources Department to make sure they got their license. If they're having trouble with their tests, we have tutored with some of those so they can pass their praxis. We've taught them what CEUs are, and as a matter of fact, when they finish all the NTA sessions, they will get CEUs for participating in that. So we're teaching them, and they're earning things as we go. And I would say the most important thing that I believe we have done is create a safe place for them. Through all the activities we've had, we've built great relationships with them, and they come to us about things. Maybe it's their classroom, maybe it's school. It could even be something outside of school, and they feel like they can confide in us and talk with us and help them get through that, or point them in the right direction. if we can. So that has been something else we both have been very thankful.
And to sum it up, at the end of the year, we asked our teachers to create a star and put one kid's name on it. Because you can make a difference in at least one kid's life. Probably more, but they had to pick one. And then we had our leadership team actually make this, and we hung it up at the New Teacher Academy the next year so that they could see what the last year's teachers had an impact on. And the reason why we want to do that is we want them to see that together, we are all making an impact. You guys supported this program and made this program happen. And now we are able to support those teachers, and then those teachers support those students. So together, we are making an impact, and the students are what it's all about. Lori and I never wanted to leave the classroom, ever. We love the classroom. It's where we want to be. But we left because we wanted to make a difference, and we're grateful that you guys have given us that opportunity to make a difference. So thank you very much.
Great, thank you. Great presentation, and they're doing such an excellent job out there at the schools, and they have kind of built their own positions. When they were first hired, we didn't give a lot of direction. We'd never had a mentorship program with this, and we told them you have the freedom to build, and so they learned a lot on the job last year. And then you see the things that they're incorporating now, because it's lonely being a first-year teacher a lot of times, and then having their support. I hear positive comments all the time from teachers and principals about their hard work. And I'll say this too, the New Teacher Academy this year was the best one we've ever had because of the sessions that they had. And going back to Ms. Brown, talking about the interactive sessions, we had first-year or second-year teachers who were there. Those were the packed sessions because the new teachers wanted to hear from teachers. They wanted to hear the real world. And you definitely made a believer out of, where's the teacher from? Was it Overpart that was on the video a minute ago? Yes. No, I'm talking about the one that was on the video. Oh, Greenbrook. I couldn't see for the bar at the bottom. I couldn't tell what the letter was. So you definitely made a believer out of him. Yeah, because he did not believe it at the beginning. Y'all turned it around. So, but no, that's great. I just want to thank y'all for all that y'all are doing to support our teachers. Wonderful job.
Thank you. Great program.
And so that concludes the superintendent's.
Yes, sir. I have one matter, additional litigation matter that we'll have to pick up in the executive session.
At this time, we need to approve the minutes from the January the 18th. Or do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
We have a second.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. At this time, we'll move to the consent agenda, items A through MM. Mr. Austin, your recommendation.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend the board to approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion.
Make the motion.
We have a second.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. New business, Mr. Williams. Bid for Olive Branch High School rewrite. I don't know what that is.
Rewire.
Rewire.
All right, RFPs were open on January 9th for the Olive Branch High School rewire project. We had 3 vendors submitted bids and they're listed in the packet. My recommendation, accept the lowest and the best bid from Synergetic for the rewire project at OBHS.
Mr. Austin, your recommendation.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend the board to approve the lowest and best bid from Synergetics for the rewire project at Olive Branch High School.
Board, do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
We have a second.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Mr. Mayor, the FY 2024-25 proposed DeSoto County Schools academic calendar. Proposed.
Yes, good afternoon. So we are looking at the 24-25 academic calendar, and I had the privilege of working with this year's Teacher Advisory Committee to design the calendar. On page 1, you'll see the dates for our students and teachers. Next, moving on to page 2, you will see graduation dates and also the number of different contracts and the start and end dates for those. Also at the bottom, you'll see the number of student days per month. Going over to page 3, you will see our staff development days for the 24-25 school year, along with 9 weeks ending dates and report card dates, and also the week for progress reports. And the last page that you have, it just shows us all laid out with our student days, teacher days, and then student and teacher holidays, and color coded for that. So this concludes the overview of the proposed 24-25 school calendar. Thank you.
Mr. Austin, speak up.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend the board to approve the 2024-2025 DCS academic calendar.
Board, do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Have a second? Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
And I just want to say to the board that we feel like it's very important that our teachers are involved in this process. And so our teacher advisory council, as Ms. Sample said, designs the calendar. They get feedback from all the teachers at their schools. And so we were here with them that day, and they designed the fall calendar and the spring calendar. There was a lot of discussion to try to get it right, and they worked very hard, and they did a great job of representing us.
Very similar to the state legislature.
My comment. Our teacher advisory council does an excellent job in the department. I appreciate all the hard work.
Okay, Ms. Graves. Statement of revenue expenditures for September of 2023.
Revenue collections through December for general funds are at $130,989,466, which is about 7% higher than FY23 revenues. Last year, we were at $122,243,296 at this time. And again, same reason increase is due to our ad valorem and our increased MAP. Our revenues for all funds are at $153,776,085, which is about 3% higher than FY23. So we'll start to pick up again since our tax revenues will come in. So December is typically one of the lowest months. So we'll start picking up again. Our general fund expenditures through December are at $137,473,017. We're about 8% higher than FY23 expenditures at $127,149,73. Our expenditures for all funds were at $194,707,252. And it seems a little high because we've had a lot of good construction that we've been able to accomplish. And the increased expenditures, we are still in line with the budget, and we are still about 2% lower than what we expected.
Mr. Austin, your recommendation.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend the board to approve the statement of revenue expenditure for December 2023.
Thank you. We have a motion, board.
I'll make that motion.
We have a second. All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Combined balance sheet, December 2024.
The fund balance for all general funds is at $155,481,880. We are up 21% over FY23. Last year we were at $128,537,713. It's going to be kind of like a broken record. You know, back in October we transferred $10 million. So that up 21% is actually skewed a little bit until we hit October next year when we were back apples to apples. So technically it's probably, we're probably more 13, 14% up.
Mr. Austin, your recommendation on combined balance sheet.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend the board to approve the combined balance sheet for December 2023.
Board, we have a motion.
I'll make that motion.
We have a second. Second. All in favor, aye. Aye. Ayes have it. Statement of cash flow for 2023, December 2023.
The December cash balance for district maintenance is at $136,695,592. That's about 54% of all cash balances in the district. All cash balances stand at $253,467,626. And our amount invested with Smith Shellnut and Regions Bank at the end of December is $50,287,400.
Mr. Austin, your recommendation on statement cash flow for December 2024.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend the board to approve the statement of cash flow for December 2024.
Board, do we have a motion?
Make that motion.
We have a second.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Certification of bank reconciliation, December 2023, Ms. Gray.
All bank statements have been reconciled with no exception.
Mr. Austin, your recommendation.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend the board to approve the certification of bank reconciliations for December 2023.
Board, do we have a motion? Do we have a second? Second. All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it. Personnel.
Personnel is pages 1 and 2 are recommendations, pages 3 and 4 are changes. Page 5 is a memo for myself, requesting the board to approve up to 5 days and their 40 hours for administrative leave with pay between February 2nd and February 21st in the event of school closing, delayed, or dismissed early due to inclement weather conditions. And this would be for all less than 230-day employees. Page 6 and 7 is the 2024-2025 principal supplements. Page 8 is the 24-25 assistant principal supplements. Page 9 is licensed employee recommendations for assistant superintendents and chief operations officer for the 24-25 school year. Page 10 is licensed employee recommendations for principals for 24-25. Page 11 is licensed employee recommendations for principals lists that are contingent upon their license renewal, 24 and 25. Page 12 is a request for additional pay from Ms. Ingram, our Director of Federal Programs, a teacher at DeSoto Central High School, who will be a sped tutor for after school up to 200 hours, $30 per hour. That will begin 2/2 and end at 5/22. Page 13 is a request for additional pay from Ms. Ingram on a staff member at Corn Lake High School to be a sped tutor after hours for a total of 200 hours, $30 per hour, beginning 2/2 and ending at 5/22. And pages 14 and 15 is a request for additional pay from Ms. Hassman, our assistant superintendent, on high school teachers who will work to prepare PSAT summer boot camps for a total of 90 hours at $21 per hour, beginning 2/1 and ending on 8/1.
Mr. Austin, your recommendation on personnel.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend the board to approve personnel as presented.
We have a motion.
Make that motion.
We have a second. Second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Student district, Mr. Benson.
Mr. Chairman, we have to do this one, that is to address the executive session.
Thank you. Public comment. As a board, we welcome public participation in our board meeting. While this is not a debate setting or question and answer session, we reserve this time at our regular board meeting for public comment and for citizens who have been requested to appear. Board policy allows 30 minutes for public comment. Public comment involving student matters or personnel matters must be heard one at a time in executive session. Each person who wishes to comment will have up to 5 minutes to speak until the 30-minute limit has been reached. When I ask for public comment, please state your name, and if you have a student matter or a personnel matter, please state that as well. We do have, do we have anyone who wishes to comment? Maybe good. I need a motion at this time to consider closing this session to determine whether or not the board will enter executive session for the following matters: student matters, personnel contract, political litigation matter, and student discipline. I need a motion. I'll make a motion. Mr. Chase will come back.
All in favor?
All in favor? Aye. Ayes have it. Mr. Chase will come back and inform you whether or not to stay in executive session. The next board meeting will be scheduled for Tuesday, February the 20th, 2024.